Yo, what's up, guys? LuhKey here. I just wanted to do a little quick review on Whole Cake Island. I just finished it, and I just wanted to give my thoughts. The whole arc, I would kind of rate it maybe 8 out of 10. But I found out some things about One Piece that about myself that I love about this franchise. And basically, one of my favorite characters is Zoro, and he is not part of this arc at all. So I figured and found out that what I really like about this show is the world itself, and I'm not following any particular characters. And that's really rare for me, especially with animes. But basically, this ends spoilers, and the rest I'm just gonna put this guy's video just for reference on the background while I talk about this. So I'll put down his channel in the description, and let's get to it. So this is gonna be, of course, um, spoilers ahead, but I'm just gonna talk about some of the main events that happened in this arc, and I'm not gonna lie, it did go pretty long, but Alabasta was probably the longest for me and the hardest for me because it was in the beginning and it was hard to get in. I think that arc alone fucking took me like a year to finish. The whole Cake Island, I finished it maybe around like 2 months, maybe a month and a half. But basically, events wise, um, if you guys haven't followed, but Sanji left the Straw Hat Pirates to go with his family to get married in this arranged marriage. So we discovered a little bit more about his family, but basically he had a bounty, and it said, most bounties say dead or alive. His just said only alive, and it's because his family is very rich and powerful, and they have really good tech. And we learn and we discover Germa 66, which is his family blood, and we go back to and learn his, childhood, and it's crazy, dude. Like I thought his backstory on the chef thing was crazy and emotional. Well, this just tops it. So, we get introduced to Germa 66, and he was one son out of four kids, and his father's basically this huge emperor that his dream life goal is to take the blue sea, I believe the west sea, something like that, but he wants to conquer that territory. And basically his island is just a bunch of ships that get put together, a bunch of battleships that can go together, and that's his whole island, and it's pretty cool. So he's the fourth kid, and out of the four kids, it's one girl and two older brothers, and basically there were experiments. They were enhanced people. That's why Sanji's so powerful, especially just kicking people around. But we discover that his mother was sick, and he would cook for her, even though he cooked really bad as a little kid. And his dad saw that the enhancements didn't work on him, and he still had emotions, and he wasn't strong as the other two, well, other three, and you could see him right there. But basically, since he couldn't, and he had too many emotions and empathy and all that, his father saw it as a weakness, so he faked all deleted him and just put him in a dungeon, and his sister helped him escape, and that's the backstory in a quick little summary. But basically, Sanji retrieval mission begins. Luffy forms a small team: Nami, Chopper, Brook, Carrot, and Pedro to rescue Sanji. They enter Big Mom's territory, Totoland, and Totoland is like Candyland. Basically, it's just like 20 islands, and the main island is I believe a huge cake from what I remember, but it's heavily guarded. Big Mom's one of the four emperors of the sea, and yeah, I mean, I didn't know how they were gonna pull this off, to be honest. So Chopper and Pedro are gonna they do like a copy of the poneglyph, which they need to get to the One Piece. and Big Mom is guarding. I think it's one or three or something like that, but which is crazy because Brooke fucking clutches up, fights Big Mom by himself, and copies the poneglyph and hides it in the skull. Dude, Brooke just clutched up out of nowhere, and out of nowhere he became way stronger. Let me just get a little quick drink. So then we get introduction to Big Mom's powers. Big Mom shown collecting souls using Sora Soto no Mi, which is his double fruit power. And then first look at her homies. Sue's Prometheus Napoleon, which is her hat, Napoleon. Sue's is a floating cloud, and Prometheus is just like a sunball. And basically what her power does is it takes people's souls and puts them into items, which is a pretty fucking OP power. We also met Pudding, which is the person that's arranged to marry Sanji. And he falls in love because he's a simp. She appears kind of first, but then later is revealed. My favorite episode, Soggy Cigarette. Dude, that episode was fucking crazy. I think it's like 7:43. I mean, dude, I would see clips of that, and honestly, that's one of the clips that made me get into One Piece. And by the time I got to it, I was expecting it, but I didn't like the plot twist. I didn't know it was this person. So yeah, that's the person right there. Putting she fakes, being nice and everything, but she's got like this alter ego where she's just acting all the time and she's fucking evil. So Sanji catches her talking poorly of him, just laughing at him, and that breaks his heart because he thought it was all real. So we also got the confrontation with Germa 66. Sanji's family, Vince Smokes, introduced Judge, Reiju, Ichiji, Niji, and Jonji. Sanji's abusive childhood is revealed as well, which we talked about. Luffy versus Cracker, which is one of the commanders. They fought for 11 straight hours. Luffy wins using Gear 4 Tankman, which at that point I was like, dude, ain't no way. This is his first fight, and he already got destroyed. He's already tired, depraved. I don't know how he kept fighting, to be honest. I thought he was going to beat Big Mom at the end of this season, but that didn't happen and just ran away. So it makes sense that, he was, pretty tired at that point. It was like his 7th, 10th fight in a row. Sanji breaks down. He's forced to choose between Straw Hats Straw Hats' lives and Seth's. Sanji begs Luffy to leave him. Luffy refuses and waits in the rain. He screams out, "I won't eat anything that you don't cook." So he starves himself right after the Cracker fight. And then Luffy and Sanji have a fight. So emotional fight. Luffy gets knocked down, but still won't fight back. And Sanji's true feelings are revealed. And that's in front of his whole family, and he literally kicks fucking Luffy's tooth out. That fight was pretty crazy and pretty heartbreaking. It was like Luffy versus Usopp. That one's pretty good. I just hope Luffy doesn't fight Zoro, but it's a trend, so maybe. So the Tea Party and wedding assassination plot. So at the day of the wedding, Germa 66 is planning to betray Big Mom by taking, I believe, the troops to conquer the East Blue. And Big Mom is gonna betray Germa 66 by killing Sanji and Germa 66 and taking their equipment and stuff. So they're both gonna betray each other. So either way, Sanji is, dead. Sorry, I'll delete 4. So the plan is that Pudding's gonna gonna pop, and I'll delete for Sanji as soon as she opens her third eye, and just reveal that it's all fake. But Sanji already heard this on that episode, Soggy Cigarette. So, where were we at? So Big Mom plans to assassinate the Vinsmokes, and Big A and the Fire Tank Pirates collaborate with Luffy to counterattack. So they do this whole big plan to attack and do this whole counterattack against Big Mom and save Sanji. We get the wedding cake mayhem. This is where Luffy just pulls out something crazy and uses the mimics and just storms off, destroying the whole cake. And then it's revealed that Big Mom, when she craves something, she gets into these tantrums where she just goes completely berserk and just starts destroying everything. So once that cracks and she breaks, I haven't even talked about the mob guy. I forgot his name, but he's like this mobster pirate. He plans to assassinate Big Mom, fails, but then counters and tries to. Well, he's already infiltrated into her pirate crew, and then he counterattacks and just tries to destroy her will so she can go berserk. So much shit happens in this arc, which is pretty badass. But I did not get bored at all in this whole arc, which is pretty good, especially since Zoro wasn't there. We get the death of Pedro. Pedro sacrifices himself with an explosive to help the crew escape from Kategori and Big Mom's forces, which was crazy. He came into like an all delete 4 mission, and he had a little bit of life left because Big Mom stole the major part of his last years. So he came in here and was just trying to get revenge for what she did to him, and he successfully does it after like the second and third attempt at self-righteously getting taken out. And then we get Luffy versus Kategori, which is supposed to be one of the best one of the best troops in Big Mom's pirates, and he has this devil fruit power, where he makes everything into like toffee. I think it's like candy, but one of his greatest strengths is his future sight observation haki, which I don't think we've seen or this in depth in the anime so far. And also this is in this fight Luffy unlocks his as well. So Luffy gets trapped in the mirror world. Epic prolonged battle where Luffy unlocks future sight observation haki. Luffy declares he will surpass Katakuri. Katakuri falls, respecting Luffy. Sanji and Pudding bake the wedding cake. That's pretty self-explanatory. They just make this plan to feed Big Mom so she can go stop being on this rampage. The Thousand Sunny escapes. Big Mom pirates chase the crew. Nami captures Zeus. Jinbei, Brook, and Chopper and others defend the ship. Jinbei leaves Big Mom. This is also a big thing. Jinbei was part of Big Mom's kind of troops, and he decides to leave his crew to join Straw Hats, and he also has to tell Big Mom that he's quitting her crew or her reign. So, it comes in clutch too, saves Luffy and Nami, which are in a book prison. And he also stays back with his crew to buy some more time for Luffy and them to escape. Escape from Total Land. Straw Hats escape Big Mom's territory with heavy injuries. Big Mom devours the new wedding cake and falls asleep. And, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth into the future season because it's only like 12 episodes long. It's like a little middle arc, but basically, we're getting into the new Revolutionary Army and we're going into depth of what they're doing. And, we see Luffy and the crew react to their new bounties, and his goes up to like 3.5 billion, which is crazy. But what I love about this world is that we get to see all the people that we've learned and have been introduced react to news that's big like that. Also, Luffy becomes the 5th Emperor of the Sea, which is crazy because I thought there was capped at 4. But yeah, overall, pretty good season. I can't wait for Wano. I know it's the longest one, so I just hope I can see Zoro more. My predictions for Wano. I think we're gonna learn more about. I don't know. I think we're gonna go more in flesh with maybe the summarize. I know they're pretty important. I think the Revolutionary War is gonna start soon. There's really not that many predictions that I have because I don't know what to ask. I don't really know what's gonna happen. I know it's very important. Um, I'm sure that the other half of the crew is probably wait, you okay? I'm sure that the other side of the crew is either in shambles or they've learned a lot and they've infiltrated and know a lot. But this is the biggest arc, so I'm pretty excited. It's kind of like a Japanese-based island, and that's what I like about the show. I like stuff, especially media that changes their themes as arcs or seasons or levels progress. But yeah, I hope it's good. Talk to you guys later. Peace.